Come ride the little train that is rolling down the tracks to the junction. Forget about your cares, it is time to relax at the junction. Lots of curves, you bet, and even more when you get to the junction.
Petticoat Junction.
There's a little hotel called the Shady Rest at the junction.
Petticoat Junction.
It is run by Kate. Come and be her guest at the junction.
Petticoat Junction.
And that's Uncle Joe. He's a moving kind of slow at the junction. Petticoat Junction.
Are you still working? It's after midnight.
Oh, it can't be helped, honey. I've got to turn this bid in first thing in the morning.
Maybe I can help.
Well, it's pretty complicated. Honey, the whole knee is crushed.
All right.
No, you see, this is a bed to spray some government acreage, and it's composed of irregular plots of ground. Now, to calculate the total area, I have to use trigonometry, analytical geometry, shoot the angles, compute the functions of the angles, tangents, cotangents, sines, cosines, then estimate the amount of insecticide it'll take to cover that area, how much fuel for the plane, allow for variables such as wind, then boil the whole thing down to a concrete bid low enough to land the job and make enough money to send Herschel there to Harvard.
Elizabeth may not go to Harvard.
You mean we're going to have a 50-pound girl?
One of these days.
Seriously, Great Pumpkin. This is a pretty complex problem involving the relationship of volume to space.
Well, if the truth were known, I'm probably a genius at solving problems of volume and space.
You're a genius, all right.
Oh, Uncle Joe, you promised at dinner last night you'd take up running.
Well, that wasn't fair. You threatened to hold out my dessert.
Oh, come on, Uncle Joe. It's good for you. Besides, you wanted to take off a little weight, didn't you?
Yeah. That's another thing. Why undo all the work of a lifetime?
Uncle Joe, please.
Oh, I don't know. How far are we going?
Oh, down to Zipple's, once around the hog pond and back.
Zipple's Hog Pond? Why, that's a mile.
So?
Well, pack a lunch.
Oh, now go on, Uncle Joe. It'll be fun. Yeah.
Hey, wait. I got an idea. Why don't you two go?
Well, we can't both be gone. With Mom away, somebody has to stay and take care of the hotel.
I can do that.
Well, all right, then. Now, let's see. There's mattresses to be turned, floors to be waxed, windows to be cleaned.
Like I said, a little jogging never hurt anybody. Come on, Bobby.
What are you stopping for, Uncle Joe?
Oh, this ain't right. Whatever happened to ladies first?
We tried that, remember? Only when I went first, you didn't follow.
Say, there's my partner, Steve. Sorry, Bobby Joe, but I'll have to drop out. He wants to have a conference with me. Steve, about that.
Hi, Steve.
Oh, hi, Bobby Joe.
How's Betty Joe?
All right. What are you doing running around in your pajamas?
These ain't pajamas.
Do you want to have a conference with Uncle Joe?
Not especially.
That's all he knows. Young feller, senior partner of this combine, I'm calling a board meeting right here and now. What's on the docket?
Nothing.
Oh, boy, a lot of help you are.
Well, I gotta take off.
Oh, let me help.
Where are you bound?
Oh, I got to get this up to the state capitol by noon.
State capitol? What is it?
Oh, it's a bid to spray that government property north of Pixley.
You mean you went into this without consulting me?
Yeah, well, it came up pretty fast, Joe.
Yeah, well, when you're dealing with the government, you need all the know-how you can get. All kinds of red tape you got to cut through and angles you can work. Who are you submitting the bid to?
The Department of Agriculture.
Oh, boy. The Department of Agriculture? Why in the world would you want to deal with them?
Well, they're the ones who called for the bids.
Oh. Well, I hope you know what you're doing. I hate to see things go out of here without my okay. Well, I got to get on the jogging. Come on, Bobby Joe. Department of Agriculture. Why didn't I think of that?
By the moonlight, you can hear those voices singing. In the evening, by the moonlight, you can hear those banjos ringing. How the old folks would enjoy it. They would sit all night and listen as we sang in the evening by the moonlight.
Pretty good, huh? That was fun.
Yeah, well, it just ain't the same without Kate. Oh, no offense, Billy Joe, but she used to play good and loud to cover up our mistakes.
Well, she'll be back soon. Hey, any sign of Steve? No.
That poor guy, he's been hanging on my phone ever since he got back from the state capitol. Of course, that's a break for me. He watches my store at the same time.
Golly, I hope his bid is accepted.
He ain't never going to hear from that bid. I tried to tell him that this morning.
What do you mean, Uncle Joe?
Well, he went about it wrong. You don't get action from the government by merely submitting a bid. You got to lay the groundwork, do some lobbying, make the right contacts. Now, if he'd have come to me, I'd put him in touch with people in high places.
Who do you know in high places?
I got a lodge brother that's assistant forest ranger, Fred Wilson. He'll do anything for me.
Yeah, and he's in high places, too. He's got the station on top Mount Grundy, 6,000 feet up.
Oh, you're missing the point. Fred, being a government employee, knows the right people. He's the one that introduced me to Dirksen.
Uncle Joe, you met Dirksen?
I was standing as close as I am to you. I shook his hand and said, "How are you, Clem?"
You mean Everett?
No, Clem. He's secretary of the Pixley Grange.
Here comes Steve. Oh, he looks miserable. I guess he didn't get the contract.
Of course he didn't. I'll put him wise. I'll show him where he went wrong.
Now, Uncle Joe, look, Steve was up all last night working on that bid. Betty Jo said he hasn't eaten or slept for 24 hours. I don't think we ought to do anything to aggravate him.
Who's going to aggravate him?
You are. Joe, so help me, if you say one word to that boy, I'm going to hide your teeth.
What are you talking about? I've got my own teeth.
Well, you won't have if you say any.
Well, you forget about it, darling. You tried your best. Now sit down and I'll get you a nice plate of dinner. Chicken and dumplings. You sit down too, Betty Jo. I'll get the food. And Uncle Joe can come along and help me.
Oh, but I've been jogging all day. I can't make it to the kitchen. I'm busy.
Oh, yes, you can. Oh, Billy Joe, let me help.
Thanks, Bobby Joe. I'm about to drop in my tracks.
You mention that bid to Steve, and I guarantee you'll drop in your tracks.
I swear on oath, I won't bring it up unless he brings it up first.
Well, I got to get going. So long, Betty Jo. So long, Steve. Oh, I forgot to say goodbye to the girls.
Oh, boy, that feels good. It's just what I needed. Oh, by the way, I almost forgot. While I was at Drucker's, he got in those new baby bottles and bibs.
Sure.
What was that last thing you mentioned, Steve?
Bibs?
Oh, now that you bring it up, how are you doing with yours?
My bibs?
Oh, bib. I thought you said bib. Well, now that you mention it, what do you hear from the government?
Oh, nothing.
Son, I hate guys that say I told you so. But I told you
Told me what?
not to submit that bid cold turkey. You got to pull string, grease palms. Your big mistake was in not consulting your senior partner.
Uncle Joe, please.
Senior partner?
That's right. It is Carson Elliott, you know. I supply the management know-how. You do all the easy stuff like flying the plane.
Joe, Steve's very tired.
Of course he's tired, running around all day like a dodo bird. Next time you've got something that deals with the Carson Elliott dynasty, consult me first.
How would you like to dissolve the Carson Elliott dynasty?
Steve?
You kidding, Flyboy? You can't make it without me.
Uncle Joe.
I'll risk it.
Fellas.
Let's go, Betty Jo.
Well, honey, you haven't had your dinner yet.
Well, I've lost my appetite.
But we made chicken and dumplings. They're delicious. They're steamed.
So am I.
Boy's out of his mind. He can't operate without me. I own the windsock.
Petticoat Junction.
Steve, isn't it a lovely night?
Yeah, swell.
Look at those stars. Moon.
Yep, they're up there all right.
Steve, a telegram. It's for you.
Hey, man, if this is what I think it is. Happy to inform you that... Honey, I got it. I got the bid.
Oh, darling, how wonderful.
Boy, what a break.
And you deserve it. I'm so proud of you.
Honey, isn't it a wonderful night? Look at those stars, that moon.
Yep, they're up there all right.
Hey, Joe. Glad to see you.
Oh,
Well, Joe, about last night,
Steve, let's just forget about it.
Well, what are you doing?
That's the way you wanted it. In case you forgot, this belongs to me.
Well, yeah, Joe, but,
Now, from now on, you're on your own when you want to know which way the wind's blowing.
Hey, Joe, that government contract came through.
Oh, it did, huh?
Yeah, isn't that terrific?
Yeah. I guess you really don't need me now.
Oh, before I get your groceries, let me congratulate you. I just heard the good news about Steve.
Isn't it wonderful? And now Betty Jo can order the rest of her baby things. Steve's on cloud nine. Imagine a $2,000 government contract.
No, I meant the good news about the dynasty busting up.
The Carson Elliott dynasty? Steve forgot all about that when they accepted his bid.
Well, your uncle didn't. He was in here this morning insisting that I run an ad in the World Guardian officially announcing the split.
Oh, no. What did the ad say?
It's in the back room. Come on, I'll show you. The nearest thing I had for him to go by was that notice Ed Parker put in the paper when his wife ran off with the tractor sales. He kind of followed that. I'm no longer responsible for the debts of my former partner who has left my bed and board.
Followed her kind of closely, didn't he?
Yeah, well, try to tell that bullhead anything. Said it worked for Ed, so that's the way he wanted it.
This puts a damper on everything.
Well, don't let that spoil your plans. Here's a catalog. Pick out what you want. Excuse me. Dr. Storer? Oh, hi, Sarah. Well, just a minute. It's another telegram for Steve. Yeah, okay, shoot. Uh-huh. Huh? Yeah. Yeah, well, I got it, yeah. Thanks, Sarah.
Something wrong?
Well, maybe you better postpone that ordering for a while.
What do you mean? What is it, Mr. Drufford?
So you expect me to violate my trust by revealing the contents of this telegram?
Yes, I do.
You got a point. It's from some guy in the Department of Agriculture. Advise you hold off executing crop dusting contract pending my arrival tomorrow a.m. Signed William R. Blake.
Wonder what that means. I don't know, but it doesn't sound good.
Pending my arrival tomorrow a.m. William R. Blake. That guy again. I thought I got him off my back when I got out of the Air Force.
You know it?
Oh, I'll say I know him. By the book, Blake. That guy gave me more trouble.
How? Was he your CO?
No, he acted like he was. He was in charge of the ground crew. And that's where he tried to keep me, on the ground.
Oh, now, Steve.
No, really, it's true. Listen, one time we were at Wright-Patterson, and I needed 1 hour flying time. 1 measly hour to collect my flight pay. And I was all set to take off, and old by-the-book says he's got to pull my oil screen.
Oil screen? That doesn't sound important.
No, it's important, all right. But not as important as my month's flight pay. Well, I got one of the boys to decoy Mr. Blake, and off I went. Boy, was he mad.
Sounds like he has a little more authority now.
Oh, yeah. He's probably found some technicality to... Hey, wait a minute. I've got a technicality, too.
What?
Well, there's a clause in the contract that says once I've started the job, there's no breaking it on either side. Well, honey, first thing in the morning, I'm going to start the job. Before he even arrives.
Steve,
No,
I don't think
now I know what I'm doing. Now, you just order all those little goodies from the catalog and let me handle Mr. By-the-Book Blake.
Uncle Joe, time for your morning exercise.
I'm way ahead of you. Instead of jogging all over the valley for exercise, I rigged up this stationary bike.
That's a very bright idea. And pedaling is great exercise. It sure is. Well, I'll jog over to Zippos by myself. Hey, Joe. Uncle Joe. What a dirty trick, making him do your work.
I'm doing him a favor. Look at him. No punch.
All right, Uncle Joe. Now hit the road.
Oh, Billy Joe.
Come on now. You made a deal.
All right, all right. Oh, knock it off. You weren't so great in there. When it comes to being a squirrel, you leave a lot to be desired.
Don't worry, boy. I'll have you out of there in a minute. Uncle Joe.
Why, my dear, there's a stranger in distress. I must offer him assistance. My name's Carson. Jogging Joe Carson.
Blake, William R. Blake.
What can I do for you?
Well, I'm looking for Mr. Steve Elliott. Perhaps you could tell me where he lives.
I can do better than that. I can take you there.
Uncle Joe, it's just around the next bend. It's a little house with a picket fence and orange shutters. You can't miss it.
Why, thank you, miss. I guess I can make that all right.
Oh, it's much more complicated than it sounds.
But if it's just around a bend.
Yeah, it's a very tricky bend. Tommy Joe, you run on. I'll catch up with you later. What did you want with Steve? You can tell me I'm his ex-partner.
Well, you see, I'm with the Department of Agriculture. It's about that $2,000 contract.
I'll probably be taking the kid back into business with me today.
Oh, well, then maybe I should tell you. Steve's gotten himself into quite a mess.
Like I was saying, I'm his ex-partner. Little house with a picket fence, orange shutters, just around the bend. Can't miss it.
Petticoat Junction will return after these messages. Had a long, hard day?
My girdle is killing me.
Want to get away from your troubles?
The farther away, the better.
Well, you can. With TV Land's evening lineup. The Addams Family, Green Acres, Sonny and Cher, Hogan's Heroes, The Phil Silver Show, and Mannix every weeknight.
Good thinking.
Escape from your day with an evening in TV Land.
Doesn't it take your mind off of your troubles?
Take me to TV Land.
Rosie Wendy here, your host for Nickelodeon's 10th annual Kids' Choice Awards live from the Nickodrome. Check out who else is going to be there.
Tune in to see Will Smith, Cindy Crawford, Jean-Claude Van Damme, David Wayans, Scott Wolf, LL Cool J, Tom Arnold, Terry Hatcher, Melissa Joan Hart, T and Tamara Mowry, Ben Savage, Larissa Olena, Shannon Miller, Ryder Strong, Tara Lipinski, the cast of All That, and Jim Carrey. Plus musical performances by Coolio, Jewel, Immature, and Savage Garden. So don't miss Nickelodeon's 10th annual Kids' Choice Awards tonight at 8, 7 Central.
Only on Nick.
Take me to TV land.
Adams resident.
Oh, I'm back!
Now control yourself, Gomez.
I'll have you quartered, flogged, and keelhauled. Very cheerful.
Reverse barbarism.
It's so nice to have a thing around the house.
Thank you, Sid.
Anybody can tell what kind of a family we are.
Nice. Can I play autopsy with it?
Capital idea.
I'll even show you how to juggle meat cleavers.
Very sporting. But Adams doesn't know the meaning of the word fear.
I do. I'll shoot him in the back.
It's the old Adams spirit. Querida.
Darling, we need help.
Watch The Addams Family, only on TV Land.
The end.
Coming up next, it's The Addams Family, here on Nick at Night TV Land.
Then you're the man Steve calls By the Book Blake.
I'm afraid so.
He isn't here right now.
Tell me, was that his plane I just saw?
Yes.
Well, I hope he hasn't started on that job yet.
Oh, well,
Well, didn't he get my telegram?
Oh, yes, he did, but he thought... Oh, look, why don't I signal him down and he can explain?
Well, let's hope so.
Yes, and so I think you better come right down. Over.
Okay, honey, be right down. No sweat. Over and out.
He'll be right down.
Good.
I guess you wouldn't like to tell me what this is all about. I guess you wouldn't.
No, I prefer to let your husband straighten it out.
Well, by the book.
Good to see you again, Lieutenant.
I was a captain, remember?
Oh, that's right. They did promote you in spite of everything.
Yeah, they get pretty careless. Look, Champ, if you're here to stop me, it's too late. According to the book, once I've started, that's it, right?
Great, sir.
Oh, so what happens now, mechanic?
You lose your shirt, Ace. This is your bid, right?
Yeah, right.
Need a little mistake there, Captain.
Oh, now, wait a minute. I worked all night on this thing. I calculated that area to the square inch. I figured...
Oh, your trigonometry was beautiful. And your analytical geometry was magnificent. And your computation of space-volume relationship was positively spine-tingling. But you, old Dad, flunked dots.
What are you talking about?
You put the dot behind the wrong zero. This bid says you'll do the job for $200.
No, 2,000. See right there, 200.
Steve, what's the matter? Is there anything I can do?
Yeah, honey, you can put Herschel there up for adoption. I don't think we can afford to raise him.
Now, don't lose your cool, Ace. I've prepared another bid with all the little decimal points in the right places. Be care to sign it. It's just possible that once again, old By the Book can save your neck.
What do you mean, once again? When did you ever save my neck?
Oh, you're right. You're right. You took off before I could pull that faulty oil screen.
Oh, now, just a minute, Mr. Blake. Steve told me about that. He flew the hour he needed and collected his flight pay.
Yes, ma'am. And we collected him from the middle of the Ohio River when his engine conked out.
Well, honey, it would have ruined the story.
So you see, if you use this formula, you can cut your application prices about 7 to 9 cents an acre.
And it still has enough toxicity, huh?
Right. Now, here's something else to remember about making bids.
So glad Steve and Bill are getting along. It's a real break having a friend in the department. Steve could have been in a lot of trouble.
Good idea stopping by here, Bobby Joe. This little snack's just what I needed to build up my strength.
And while we're on the subject, you really ought to pay a little more attention to your lapse flying time.
Now, hold it right there, chum. You're telling me about flying.
Well, it's time somebody did. Look, it says right here in the book, you've got to at least allow 1 3/4 minutes for each turnaround.
Well, then why don't we let the book do the flying?
That might not be a bad idea.
Hey, fellas, you're not in the front. I mean, why do you always have to fight?
Who's fighting?
We're just having a business discussion.
That's a business discussion?
Well, women don't understand things like this. Just like me and Steve the other night, right, partner?
Yeah, Joe, right. About the other night. We should never...
Now, don't apologize. Sure, you got out of line a little. You went off half-cocked.
Now, wait a minute.
Oh, look. Steve and Uncle Joe are going to have a business discussion.
What?
Right, partner?
Right. Partner?
I always admire a man that'll admit he's false.
You know something, honey?
What?
I must be the world's most pig-headed guy.
Steve.
I mean it. I'm lucky to have friends that understand me, and most of all, to have you.
Sweetheart, you shouldn't worry about that.
Well, what if you'd have known what I was like when you met me?
What is?
I bet you'd have run a mile.
Bet not.
Oh, yeah? What would you have done?
Want me to show you?
Uh-huh.
Well, first I'd take your hands like this. And then I'd put them around me like this. And pull you closer like this. And you know what I'd say? Darling, will you marry me?
Today, TV Land presents a cavalcade of detectives. Cool detectives, cop detectives, hard-boiled detectives. Don't miss any of them on our Detectives edition of Saturday Cavalcade. Coming up at 12 noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific, only on TV Land. Now, get ready to experience a TV Land retro-mercial. Next.
Petticoat Junction.